Well, hello, we have more than just me here. Okay, we have Eric in
That,
the other
that,
room.
that was lucky.
We have Kevin, who is quite the opposite of down under, and then Olga, who's actually down under. Okay, do you want to share something, Olga? You take the floor here. Yeah.
Oh, hi everyone. Thanks, Henry. um, I don't know what to say quite yet. Maybe somebody else wants to start off.
Okay, yeah, sure. I can share something.
Thanks.
I was watching some of that 1080 documentary you posted the other day. And I know about the 1080 and stuff already, but when you watch something like that with the facts and just how it's basically the most poisonous substance in the whole planet, and it's illegal everywhere in the planet because of the tests that have been done on it. There's only a few countries that use it. It's basically New Zealand uses about 90 something% of it. Australia uses a tiny bit. The US a little bit too, but in New Zealand they're just killing the whole forests. It's really just awful. The birds, you know, just everything, the worms, it's just a mess. And yeah, and people, they're not paying attention. The only people paying attention are the ones who don't want to go along with the 9 to 5, pay your taxes, stupidness, and to the majority of people who do just go along with that. The people who are talking about what's happening with the 1080, they're like not even worth listening to. I get the comparison because I did a permaculture course in New Zealand, and all the people there, they all knew about this, and they were cool in that respect. They knew what was happening. And they were cool people. They were they were okay financially, and they were just really cool, real people. But then compared to the people I grew up with in New Zealand, very superficial peoples in the city life in Auckland and the other cities I lived in, Hamilton, Wellington, but I spent a lot of time in the bush and the forest and stuff too, and those people, they were just so much more simple, and they knew what was going on with the 1080, but they couldn't do anything about it. Well, they protest or whatever, they go to court, but the government just keeps doing what they're doing. It's a big mess, and it's getting in the water supply and the food supply and everywhere, because they want to destroy the forests so that they can mine them, because there's a lot of minerals in the New Zealand forests, and that no one will let them drill for it or mine them because the forest is there. Take away the forest, then they can do it, is the idea. Anyway, so I was just seeing how, even though all this is going on, just by getting like a little reminder of how things are in New Zealand, and the vibes there are pretty cool in terms of the land that's there, because it's so isolated. There's so few people compared to the amount of land, and this huge coastline, and yeah, it's a nice place to grow up. And I know Olga grew up there too, up north. It's really nice up there, lots of forests and not many people, and it's pretty warm up there too, subtropical. But yeah, the whole earth is just a big mess. It's a huge mess. Even like I said, I travel a lot around the world and went to lots of nice places, really nice places, nature places, and but New Zealand has this really nice earthy energy, and so I always went back there every time I went overseas. I don't think I'll go back there again now. But, well, I mean, it's not about that, but yeah, it's really nice. But like I said, everywhere is poisoned and polluted. Kevin says he can't hear anything. Can you guys hear me, Olga and Eric?
I can hear you.
Yeah, I was gonna say it'd be funny if I spoke for this long and no one could hear me. But yeah, so everywhere is just a mess. Like everything's poisoned and polluted everywhere. We're in a big microwave under the. We're in a big microwave, and it's just a huge mess. You know, even the nicest forests are getting sprayed with chemtrails or 1080, and people, they're just going along with their lives like they always have. They're just like these little robots, and that's really what they are. It's like if you've ever played a video game or seen one, or like in the movie The Matrix, it's a pretty good analogy of how it is. People, they're just walking around in the Matrix, unaware that they have other bodies and why they came here and what to do with themselves while they're here. And it's like the more aware we become, you know, here as, you know, wonderful worldwide educators doing what makes sense for everyone, the bigger the comparison gets for just how much of a mess this whole planet is in. And, you know, Dwayne was telling us the other day that, you know, that's what some of these ETs have been telling them on the real side, is that, you know, the Earth is just darkness is what they see here. It's just a huge cloud of darkness. Everybody's agreeing to destroying their own planet. And yeah, so it just makes me even more motivated to do our projects. And I finished putting together the Total Universal Rainforest Project Plan, which is really cool. I talk about all the different ways we can get these forests growing really fast and all around the world. And, you know, there's so many cool things. There's permaculture, biodynamic gardening, you know, there's soil biology. That's Dr. Elaine Ingham talks about how everywhere on the planet there's all the minerals you need to grow the healthiest plants. All you need is the right soil biology, and all you need to make the right soil biology is just have some good compost, and away you go. So yeah, it's pretty cool what we can do. It's just kind of getting there, and we're like so close, but there's we just keep getting blocked because the people who are running the world, they don't want us to become known, because what we're sharing is so simple and it makes sense so simply that people, you know, can join us and have a real purpose. And that scares the world controllers, because they really need the agreement of the unaware masses to uphold their position, because there's only a few of them really, and there's a lot of people here. So yeah, we can do a lot. And we will, you know, that's why we decided this adventure. It's just, we really have to be focused, all of us, on what we really see we can do. And, yeah, seeing our intent, seeing our focus all the time is really important, so that we can kind of create it, because we are creative. The reptilians, they're just manipulative. So yeah, we are here to create a real benefit, and not just magic and phenomena, but a demonstration of what makes sense. And from there, just keep going, and there's always more, and life is so cool. But here we're in like the biggest distortion of life that you can imagine in a lot of ways. Of course, it can get worse, but it's a big mess, and it's time to clean up. So, yeah, I also saw that video that Olga posted in the New Zealand group about the New Zealand police taking a newborn baby the day it was born. They want to take it from its mother because she doesn't have, according to them, enough of income, or she's on social welfare, or whatever the idea is. It's just, yeah, it's awful. And so many of these kids, they get child trafficked or they get abused, and it's just disgusting. And yeah, people, they keep agreeing to their governments, and like I said, the 1080, you're getting poisoned every day, and people, they just keep going about business, you know. So yeah, there's a lot going on, but it's a big mess.
Yeah. Can I jump in there?
Yeah, go ahead.
I just had a really busy day, so my mind was a bit blank. But now you've jogged my memory. But yeah, with that 1080, that's really horrific. I mean, you know what it's like, Henry, going through the bush in New Zealand. I mean, you can literally walk through the bush in bare feet. There's just nothing there that's going to harm you, you know. You can live in the bush, you can walk in the bush there and find like hot springs and things like that where you can actually live, you know, live there and cook your food there with the hot springs and things like that. There's no creepy crawlies or anything that's going to get you. It's quite a harmless bush, and basically, you know, when I was a teenager and exploring outside the family home with my friends, and we would just get our driver's licenses and things, and we'd go up into the Waitakaries in West Auckland and out to the beaches there, because between Henderson, where I lived, and Piha or Muriwai, those beaches, there's rainforests. And so we'd go for drives out there and just get off the beaten track and start trekking through the bush to see what we could find. And we never thought that we were going through people's properties. We just used to do this. So it's a country that, you know, there's really nothing there in the bush at all that can hurt you, except maybe another human being. But that's about it, you know. And with the 1080 that they're doing there, it's like everything. It's just a blanket cover on everything now. And this year, I think it was DOC, Department of Conservation, put out that they were going to spend like 140 million on 1080 baits to throw across New Zealand. So I always wondered why they were doing it, and you just explained why. And there's lots of minerals like copper and things like that they want out of New Zealand, but like you said, they can't get to it. So that's really, really interesting as to why they've been doing that. Yeah, thanks for shedding light on that. And I just thought it was horrific. My niece posted those videos of the children being taken off their parents, and the fact that it's just so widespread throughout New Zealand now. And I guess it started when, you know, that Prime Minister John Key came into power and started cutting benefits and allowances and things to unemployed people, to, you know, elderly people, as well as single parents and things like that. It's got to the point now, you go to New Zealand, even New Zealanders, they can't get on the dole. There's absolutely no assistance there at all in any way. Basically, if you don't work for, you know, $6 an hour, you won't get an unemployment benefit at all. Not that you get one anyway. So they've managed to cut all those things that really do help people get on their feet, you know, and get themselves a job or anything like that. I mean, even to the point of, I think they have like government housing and things like that. They get different allowances for things like that. That's all been cut as well. But the most recent one that was posted was a young mum out on her driveway, and you could actually, and it looked like that she was in a government housing situation with her daughter, and you could actually hear her saying, you know, I'm not going to let you take my daughter. But they did. They just ripped her arms open and took the baby off her. And that was really horrific. So it's an organisation called Oranga Tamariki. I'm not quite sure of what that means. Henry might know. But it's something like, they care for families and children. So they're called Oranga Tamariki. So what they do is they go to the unemployment place called SIFs. They call them SIFs these days. And SIFs will refer them to Oranga Tamariki. And then Oranga Tamariki come in with their serve these papers on the parents, irrespective of whether they're, the dad or the mum, and serve the papers on them and just basically come in and take their children. So I know through living in New Zealand for so long, if anything, generally the way the governments of the world do it is if it works in New Zealand, it'll work anywhere in the world. And they did that with the education system. Bringing computers into the classroom and stuff like that. We had all the co-ed learning in the schools there, and their motto was, if it worked in New Zealand, it'll work anywhere in the world. And so this is something that they will roll out to the rest of the world, even though I'm sitting here in Australia and it's all pretty cozy and comfy. They will roll it out, and that's how they do it. They practice it first in New Zealand, and then they take it to the rest of the world. But it's pretty. And I was just hoping that, things like this, it's sometimes trauma and not so much the good life that actually bring people around to thinking, there's got to be something else. There's got to be something more. And, because these gods of ours aren't helping us. So there's got to be more to it than just this life here. And sometimes when people see things like that, it sort of jogs them to wake up a bit more. And my goal, just like you guys, is I hope that everyone gets to hear about this message. And like Dwayne says, to wake up all the way. It's all right to wake up, but we really do want to wake up all the way. And I think that's really a big secret. Everyone's saying, oh, yeah, we're awake, but, a lot of them and a lot of us haven't been awake. We've been half awake, but not awake all the way. And that's quite a revelation when you understand there's actually more to waking up than just, being awake, but to really wake up and really see and be able to see what there is, and there's some amazing, beautiful things to wake up to if we wake up all the way. That's how I feel.